Coach, I got a chance to watch, and it looked like Christian Anderson had a strong game, passing and running, and you had Jermel Jones and Tyler also look pretty strong. What do you think of the quarterback play that you were alternating today?
Oh, they made some good plays. There's plenty of errors out there. We got some things we got to correct at that position, and everybody else too. But they all three of those guys were competing and did a really nice job just trying to play hard and play tough. And obviously, with them being in a red jersey, it's a little difficult to completely evaluate. We just didn't want. I don't think it's necessary for our quarterbacks to get tackled every day in practice for them to be ready to be tackled. We tackle plenty on defense and on special teams. We did today. We do throughout the week, but I would just try to lay those guys off. So I think Christian, just haven't had the experience he has. He goes in there. It doesn't matter if he's the first guy in or the last guy in. He just does a solid job. Tyhier has improved tremendously, as has Jermel. Jermel has the least amount of experience out of the three, but just really impressed with how much he's improved. But again, Ken, we've got 2 weeks to go, and I'm glad we're not anywhere near where we need to be.
And Coach, just Jabari Laws ran the first drive and then one at the end. And then Cade Ballard, I saw him on the sidelines, but I didn't see him go in the game. Was he injured?
Cade Ballard,
yeah,
not injured. Just wanted to get those other guys to work, and he's had a really good camp for the little experience that he's had playing. He obviously started a couple games for us and played some, but. It's not like he's been an every down guy, and he's just done a really good job. But gave us a chance to evaluate some of those other guys. We didn't put Maurice in there either that I remember. I just got those other guys some work.
Hey, one freshman I got to ask who stood out today, Quinn Bentley. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. The freshman from Richmond. He had a couple of catches, and he looked like he was getting into the mix today.
Who now?
That was number 20, Quinn Bentley, Beney.
Oh, Laquan Vini.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was wearing 19 today. We moved into a different number just so we wouldn't have guys doubled up in the same number. But Laquan is he's a really good athlete. He reminds me a lot of Brahim Murphy. They move very similarly, a lot of the same skills, just I think what they bring to that position very similar. So I'm excited about him. Played in prep school last year, and just being a freshman, he's impressed us.
And we heard from Julian McDuffie today. He was at a cornerback. How did you feel the defense did it? The first team really wasn't having to tackle that much today, but how did you feel like they did in the workout?
I thought they did a good job. So we started the scrimmage. We had a hurry up situation, so end of half, end of game situation with the offense versus defense. That would have been our first team against our first team. We stayed off the ground completely there. We did that with the twos and then with the threes, and then we kicked off and had a scrimmage with the scouts. And then once we did that, the number one defense went in for the first drive against the scouts, and they probably got 25 plays against the scouts. So I thought that was good work for them. And again, we practiced all week. We were in pads 3 times this week, so they've gotten a good amount of opportunities to kind of bang into those guys and play blocks and tackle and do all the things that you want to in pads.
Thank you.
Coach, are there any younger players who have taken that step from the first scrimmage to the second scrimmage that you're seeing some good things from?
We just talked about Laquan Vini. I've been impressed with him. Brian Burton, who plays linebacker, is a guy that was also in our prep school program who's had a good camp, and we anticipate that he's going to be able to contribute some. There's a guy named Max Di Domenico that probably surprised us. He's a high school quarterback. We brought him in as a safety. He's a direct freshman, and he's done some good things, and kind of got himself in the mix on special teams and a down the line guy at safety. So that's been good to see. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Probably not at this point, but there's some guys that I think will have a chance before the season's over. But those three guys are probably guys that, at least in the first ball game, whether it be on special teams or a snap here and there, to be able to contribute. A lot more of the guys that are current sophomores, Sal, just went through the freshman year with us last year and kind of made that jump this year.
Gotcha. Can you talk about the competition at guard, and is it still kind of the three guys competing for two positions, and what that's looking like a week later?
Well, I think right now it's probably Dean and Noah. Mason Kolicek hurt his knee last week in the scrimmage, and he's going to be back. It's probably going to be another week, maybe two. It might be right up to the game before he's healthy enough to play. And I don't know that he'll be prepared if we do that, but we anticipate him being back. So it's probably those two guys right now, and we moved Zach Ward from tackle to guard. He's done a good job. He's a tough kid, a senior, been in the program really long. So I think that's going to provide some depth for us there.
Jeff, how close are you to starting to establish a pecking order, a depth chart? Is that the plan usually for week 3, or are you still kind of gauging?
I think there's a lot of positions where we have a pretty good idea of who the starters are going to be, and some others where there's some good, healthy competition. I think there's a lot of positions where we may be able to play multiple players and not just have it be one guy and he's going to get replaced only if he's hurt or tired. I mean, that B-back position has traditionally here been one where we played a lot of guys, and I anticipate it being the same. And probably the quarterback position for us, though, that's not very common in football, to have a quarterback that is kind of in and out of the game. But I think that we've got enough guys and their skill sets are different, that there's opportunities for all those guys to really play and contribute. So I'm glad we got some depth at those two positions, because they run the ball a lot. And we've had some guys get hurt at those positions and had to kind of go into the depth chart. So for us, that's probably right now advantageous for us, just to have that many guys. I don't know that the offensive line is going to be one where we're rotating a lot of guys, but I think every other skill position on offense, including the tight end, has guys that perhaps will play multiple positions. Defensively, I think we're probably a little more entrenched in the guys that we think are going to be the starters. But in the secondary, there's going to be personnel groups that we'll have to put in. There'll be other guys. There'll be certain situations, whether it's a long yardage down or a third down or those kinds of things, that we might put some guys in for different things we want to do, whether it's up front or at linebacker. So we'll just see. We'll see how the next week goes. I think we'll have a pretty good idea by the time we hit next weekend.
Jeff, you told us last Saturday that you wanted to get all your packages in by this Saturday. How'd you do in that regard? How close are you?
We've installed just about everything. There's a few situational things that we'll need to work on. Stuff like when the other team is punting and we want to keep the defense on the game or in the game, and play what they call punt safe, where they just line up in in a defensive alignment. And it's as easy as lining up in a defense, but making sure we cover all the eligibles and ensure that the guy's going to kick the ball on time. Just situational stuff like that. But beyond that, and there are a number of scenarios and situations where we kind of got to be prepared for those things, and we'll be able to cover that in the next couple of weeks. The installation for all of our schemes are in. Not ready to execute them perfectly, but they're in.
Right. Jeff, you've been in the game a long time here. After 2 weeks, are you where you expect to be after 2 weeks? Obviously, probably never satisfied, but
I mean, it's probably about where I expect us to be. I'd love for us to be ready to play a game this afternoon, but that's just not realistic. So, but I think we're moving along and we're improving. And like I said, there's a lot of mistakes today, a lot of things that need to get corrected, and I'm confident that we will get them corrected. But I think we're headed in the right direction, at least in terms of being prepared.
are you seeing the benefits of having a veteran team?
For sure. We got a very mature team. We've got enough guys that have played and been in games. Not all of our starters are returning starters. Some of them are going to be starting for the first time. But we got enough experience and enough strong leadership that I feel good about our football team. And I wasn't able to mention a whole bunch of freshmen that are kind of breaking into the lineup and are poised to be on the travel squad right now, and that's probably an indication that we've got a pretty good veteran group.
Care to share some of those names?
Of the guys that
The freshmen.
Oh, the freshmen that we talked about. Ryan Burton, Laquan Vini, and Max DiDomenico were the three that we talked about that kind of were in the mix at their positions right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Coach, seems like there was a 26 out there today, a freshman who did well. I wasn't sure because of the multiple numbers who that was, but returning kicks and got some running plays.
Gold jersey.
Yeah.
Bishop Johnson, I think, was wearing 26. Little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought he was standing out.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. Lafayette, Indiana. He was in the prep school last year, and he did some good things today.
I think really standing out today was Raheem Murphy and a pass catch from Christian and a number of plays down the line. I didn't see Tyrell Robinson out there today. Was he in the mix today?
Oh, he was. He played some and played early, and we just held him. There were some other guys that we didn't play a whole bunch and didn't feel like they probably needed to. So he got in the 1 minute situation and played some snaps early, and then we pulled him.
And you did a lot of punting today, and certainly when Zach Harding was in, you could tell his punts almost are a signature. And then you had the freshman Matthew Rhodes, 99, got a few punts in today. How did you think the punts went today?
We punted 3 times with the gray group, or with the white and black jerseys. That was 3 times too many. I was hopeful we didn't have to punt at all. I was hoping maybe we'd have to just create some punt situations, but give the Gold Squad some credit. They stopped our offense 3 times. 3 of the first 4 times we had it. So it's just good to get that work. So for the scouts, the Gold Squad, they punted a lot more. And but I think Matthew Rhodes is got a really good future. He's got a long build, much like Zach Harding, and I think Zach is one of the best punters in the country. I've nominated him for All-American awards, and I think he's an NFL prospect. He has got a tremendous leg, really good operation time, and he's just a really, really good player at his position. He might be the best player at his position on our team.
And on place kicks, Cole Talley had a PAT on the Tyhier touchdown. And How is Brett Morensky? I didn't see him try any field goals today. He tried a long one last week. How do you feel his game is shaping up?
Quinn's done a good job. I'm really happy with Cole Talley. After sitting out last year, he had a good kickoff, went deep in the end zone, gets really good lift on his PATs and field goals. Moretsky had a great kickoff today. Put it down on the goal line, out on the numbers, really great placement. Had a couple of PATs. One was a little bit low coming off, but I think he's improved. His leg is stronger. So I'm happy with those guys. We had a freshman, Trey Granati, had a really nice kickoff today. So it's been a pleasant surprise to see those guys kind of come back and be better than they had been the year before.
Coach, how's the inside linebacker position alongside Eric Smith playing out? Is it still Spencer Jones at the lead there, or is anybody challenging him for that spot?
It's Spencer right now, and Spencer's a little dinged up. He didn't practice today. But Brian Burton is a guy we're really excited about, the freshman who's coming along. We moved Leo Lowen and oh gosh, why is this slipping my mind now?
Maybe Hamilton Baker or
Hamilton Baker, thank you. Daphne, Alabama. Hamilton Baker moved from safety to inside, so they're really learning. I mean, they've been there 2 weeks, so they're learning. And if Kamante Yao can get healthy, which he's really, really close, he's been practicing, but just not full, not tackling to the ground and those kinds of things. He'll provide some veteran depth there as well. So right now it's Eric and Jones, and then we're going to kind of have to figure out who's going to fall into place below them.
Jeff,
Coach,
what are you going to be working on the next 2 or 3 practices? What's the focus now?
And just now that we've got everything installed, just trying to be more efficient and better fundamentally, and just the execution of the plays and the calls and the special teams plays that need to be the bread and butter of what we do. I mean, it's hard to be perfect at everything, and we don't want to have a playbook in any phase that's so complex and so diverse that you're not good at anything. And we just got to get good at the things that are most important to us and have brought us success in the past. And so that's all we're going to do. We're just going to do the same stuff over and over and over and over again, and try to continue to improve at those things and hope it'll be good enough.
Jeff, it sounds like things are coming along as well as to be expected here. But after 2 weeks, are there any real concerns for you?
Injuries. Some guys that I mentioned, just being out and not being full speed. That's always a concern, trying to get guys healthy, trying to keep them healthy. And I think probably just the fact that it's a different team, and we don't have all the same starters that we had a year ago. So learning to play together and coming together as a team and playing good football as a unit. And those are always things that I'm concerned with, and probably won't know just exactly where we stand and how well we're doing that until we play somebody else.
Coach, maybe just ask you about Jabari Laws. He got, it was in the first drive and then one later on. How do you feel like his progress is continuing as you get deeper into the scrimmage season?
He's doing great. I'm so proud of him. He just has had a great attitude the entire time, all the way through, working really hard. Our kids love him, and they love when he's out there in the huddle and out there playing. So obviously, being out as long as he has, there's conditioning that comes into play. Just getting him ready and being able to go for a long time on that knee, and he's just getting better and better every day he practices. He's probably not completely full speed, but he will be, and that comes with the confidence of playing on that knee with that brace on, and so just the more he practices, the more he does, I think the better he gets. So I was really excited to have him back in camp, and been really pleased with what he's been doing.
Thank you.
Hey, Aaron, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, Coach, I know you've kind of talked about the quarterbacks a lot, but ideally for you and your staff, kind of when would you like to solidify that decision and who that person is going to be for your team?
We might decide when we figure out what the first play is going to be. It might be a different quarterback based on the play. Literally, I don't know that we are prepared to say there's a clear starter, that one guy's the guy and he's going to go in there and he's going to be the quarterback and until he gets hurt or, screws it up or anything like that. It's just, might be Christian, might be Tyhier, might be Jabari, might be Jermel. It could be any one of those guys. I think, if Cade Ballard or Maurice Ballon were our quarterback, that we could execute our offense and be efficient. So we're not in any hurry, and I don't think those guys are all jarred up about who the quarterback's going to be. I think they all have confidence in each other and in themselves, and really do believe and understand that any one of them can be the guy in there, and that likely it's not going to be the same guy the whole game.
Thanks.
Hey, Jeff, on that same point, if you were coaching at another school, especially a non-military school, do you think you'd be able to pull this off?
What's that?
Meaning, you're so willing to go to a number of quarterbacks, and every quarterback we've talked to is also open to that idea. It's not like that at so many other schools.
Well, I don't know. I'm not really worried about other schools. I coach, and we're in pretty good shape here. But I think it's just a culture that is part of this program too, that our guys, they compete with each other. They all want to be the starter, but they also very, very much support each other. They love each other, and they're frankly committed to this team more than they are themselves, and what their role is. I don't think they let their egos get in the way, and I think that culture can be created in any organization. This one, another college football team, a business, a school. I think that culture can be created in any organization, and hopefully our guys learn those lessons while they're here, and they can take that into the Army. They're going to have soldiers that they're going to lead, and there's going to be soldiers that have the same job, and some of them are going to be given different responsibilities than others, and some may be put in positions where they feel like, well, I'm the guy. I've got to take the critical shot. Well, everybody might want to be the guy to take that critical shot, but somebody's got to carry the ammo box, and that's just as important. So our guys need to learn those lessons and embrace that culture, and as leaders create those cultures when they get into other organizations. So I don't know that it's unique to us. Just our guys have been able to handle it. They're mature, and Coach Worley's done a good job with those guys.